specific that jumps out to me as an Arn special that he'd be wanting to move towards. The Kai'Sa has been fun. We've seen the Vayne move around into a lot of lanes. The one I've been most excited for, really, has been when people have been going towards this Kai'Sa.
Haven't seen it really prevalent in the meta recently. Would be very fun to see it make a return. Instead, going to be a Syndra early lock-in. Okay. Could go to On, could go to Heru.
Could be Arns. Probably Arns, in fact, if you'd have to look at what they've been banning out. In terms of the bot lane champions, right, a Caitlyn and Ezreal, both of those could make it pretty annoying to play with. It looks like BLG might be pulling on the strat.
The Camille left open. So is the Mel, I believe, still available. Not going to get selected here. It'll be the Nefiri for Shun. Double backline diver is going to be very crucial here for BLG.
Indeed, and as we've been alluding to, right, it is not necessarily that the Camille is going to be in the top lane as you would overall expect. It can go there, but it's actually been popping up significantly more recently down in the support role, and that's been pretty wild to see. It's pretty interesting counter into these APCs because you could just close the distance onto them so effectively. Not actually as easy, though, when it comes to this Syndra, if we do end up with a Syndra down in the bot lane.
Explosivity with explosivity. Kiana for Junhao to match up against that Nefiri. We're going to be diving backlines. We're going to be taking names. Speaking of another champion that Knight can help roam around the map with alongside his jungle support could be the Taliyah. LeBlanc lock-in would be fun as well. There's a lot of different options still available here for BLG.
There really are. When it comes to the mid lane champions, right, that previous game when we saw the lock picked up right here for Knight, that was his 26th individual champion of this year. He's played basically everything you can play in the mid lane or elsewhere. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to see what it is that he's going to be playing, unless of course it's a K'Sante Gaming angle. Would be very surprised by that one, and this does give us further evidence to support the fact that this Camille should be ons for the taking.
Yeah, unless you... that would be the worst timeline, I think, Knight playing in this Game 3. After all the exciting stuff that he could have whipped out. But as we enter the second phase of bans, I think those bans from BLG signifying that, hey, we're going to let Wenbo just scale up a little bit, play the K'Sante, be a tank, instead of, you know, trying to be more of a carry for the team in this game specifically.
Indeed, and I think that makes a lot of sense, right? He had his fun with slightly more carry-orientated champions, wasn't quite able to make things work as well as he would have wanted to. Right now, BLG just banning away a couple of the different champions that are really bad for the K'Sante matchup. Do not want to allow this Vayne to go on through. Now, looking on into the next round, they're still needing an ADC for themselves and are most likely still needing a mid laner. There's plenty of interesting mid laners available, but I do wonder if you just want to go for something a bit safer, something like the Victor to sit a little bit further back. Well, when we're talking about sitting back, the Xerath would also do it, as with the Mel that you highlighted earlier.
And this is, I think, if this lock gets locked in, we're expecting this to go to the bottom lane for Viper. Xerath getting locked in game number 3 with the Camille. You need champions that can sit back in the bottom lane, wave clear, and just become impactful at later points in the game. That is exactly what the Xerath provides. We saw, you know, BLG have a good time on it earlier at MSI. Now they're going to try it here in the LPL.
Alrighty, so ThunderTalk, what do you do? For right now, you've got yourself the beginnings of a composition that can teamfight very effectively, and you've got some plenty of lockdown as well. Be interested to see where things are locked in. Twisted Fate picked up right now, and hovering on towards the Victor or the Mel.
This is very weird. What's going on here, Bloxer? Are we going to see Twisted? So this is Twisted Fate top, are we assuming?
That's where it would be in that
top
situation. The Twisted Fate top, the Syndra mid. If an AP champion is locked in, I don't know. This could still go mid lane as well.
It could still be Varus top. It could be Varus top, TF
as
mid,
well.
Syndra bot lane. I have no idea. There's a lot of different ways this could go.
Now, we're going to have to see when we get the proper lock-ins of where these champions are going, and that's going to make it equally as tricky for BLG right now to decide where to put everything. As you said, right, most likely going to be the Xerath down in the bottom lane, so you're still looking for something for Knight to play. I still think you want something pretty standard, plenty of damage available to you. You've got the K'Sante as something to give you some level of tankiness. You don't need that out of your mid lane here, and it will just be the Ahri to round things out. Ahri Nefiri, a combo I do really like. It gives you a lot of pick potential in the early game.
It's less wave clear overall with the composition, but you can follow up on the dive really nicely here now if you are BLG. You can dash in with On, land that ultimatum. Knight follows up by dashing in. You have Viper throwing the right of the arcanes over the top. A very well executed team fight will do wonders for Bilibili Gaming. ThunderTalk, on the other hand, have a lot of interesting tools at their disposal as well. They are very squishy, but that also means they do a lot of damage to some of these players that could try to dive onto the backline.
Absolutely. I mean, once again, the lockdown is going to be really important right here. The thing is, when you've got yourself in a Fury, the lockdown doesn't necessarily work. That dog gets to just keep on running through, goes immune. It's going to be a very tricky overall game, you have to imagine, right here from ThunderTalk, but they really do have so much damage available to them, and I'm thrilled to see what Keshi can do right here on this Twisted Fate.
ThunderTalk trying to pull off an upset that almost nobody would have predicted coming into today. A win against BLG, your defending LPL champions, your MSI runners up. They got Wenbo, their new top laner, rookie, coming in, playing the Cassante here in this decisive Game 3, allowing for the rest of the team to have a lot of avenues in against a very aggressive and volatile ThunderTalk composition in its own right. Should be a very exciting way to cap off our second day here of LPL English in Split 3. It's been really fun so far. Hope we get a incredible Game 3 to wrap this one up with.
Oh, absolutely, and I really do think that we will. Once again, jungle pathing, going to be that first thing to watch towards.
Oh, might be the top lane we're looking out for. An early 3-man play onto Feather, of all people, who went for a roam himself. Has the Ignite ticking, forced the flash away. That's both summoner spells down on the ThunderTalk support.
We don't even get the gyos. We don't even get any of the cheering yet.
We've seen, like, Gyos getting interrupted by level 1 plays. I don't know if we've ever seen a level 1 play and then the Gyos start. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, that's really fun to have watched, and like you said, kind of critical right here. Feather losing out onto both summoners right at the very beginning of this one. It'll leave him extra vulnerable, and On immediately recognizing that, stepping up, taking a good chunk of damage out of this Leona. I think possibly more importantly than losing out onto the Flash is losing that heal early on. We see teams blow so many summoners early looking for big trades, and that's something just not available to you now.
Always a free target now for on the hook shot. We'll say something that does counter this Camille support style and pick is just immediate hard point and click CC, and TT have a lot of that, specifically here onto Feather. You also have the Kiana and the Syndra that will be able to kind of brush back and the gold card from Keshi. So a lot of different tools to try to deny this Camille support. You wonder if TT had this in the back of their minds, preparing for the way this draft was going to shape out.
Could well have done, and it has been really fun to watch the Camille support getting higher and higher priority as we've been getting further into this split. A very interesting, a very different look to a lot of the traditional supports, even the engaged supports that we end up seeing, and it's nice to see a champion, a player like on a champion like this, where he really gets to express some level of skill for us. We'll see obviously how it's going to work out in the end, as both junglers just moving through the map nice and slowly. Nothing too explosive coming through from either of them. Still, both junglers will need to get things going early enough, because you don't want to fall behind on either of these champions.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the Nefiri being a snowball-oriented champion all the time. Kiana, very similar situation. A lot of mouths to feed, though, on the ThunderTalk side, which is going to be interesting to watch. Wenbo, clearly the weak side here for BLG. The rest of his team going to be able to kind of consume those resources. ThunderTalk kind of need everybody to come to play here in the gold department, and that's not going to be the case for On. Gets hit up by the tactical sweep. 100-0 first blood for Viper and On in the bottom lane.
There we go, immediately BLG looking to get back on track after the previous loss. Like I said, that tactical sweep just enough to pick up the kill, and Feather had wandered away just for a little bit, taking a reset, trying to get a little bit of vision down, paying a pretty bad price for it as his ADC does fall. He's going to lose out onto a good couple minions right here off of this wave. At least the reset timers are pretty short at this point.
On had his flash available and just wasn't able to use it in time. Ate a full combo from Viper off of the hookshot, and that is the power of this Xerath Camille bottom lane. Ghost popped by Keshi up in the top lane as Wenbo now has to be a little bit careful with that lethal tempo fully procced. Just another reminder, this is going to be an AD Twisted Fate with him being up in the top side. You see that with the lethal tempo as well as the Doran's bow as his first item.
Things just, like you said, feeling good, feeling interesting. Big chunk of damage coming on out in that top lane. Bot lane pings coming through again, but on shot wall dive, just going to be able to jump back away. Junhao going to find ganking this lane a heck of a lot harder than he did in the previous game, unless On steps up like this.
Yeah, takes a chunk of damage, but not going to result in too much. Still has the passive shield as the wave goes underneath the tier 1 turret. Heal pop by Feather. They are looking for the dive this time onto Viper, who is without a flash. Will go down, but he'll be traded by Feather. Regardless, though, the wave will go down underneath Viper's tower. He'll lose out on that CS and force On to collect the XP.
Indeed, that's at least something right there. Like you said, On at least able to pick himself up the kill in that situation. Now Jun trying for a little bit of a playback.
On once again, no flash, and Shun is here to capitalize. Junhao, the next target. It's already a 1-for-0 here in the bottom side. Junhao goes forward. One more Q. Should be able to take down On, and Shun is looking to chase him down. One more proc of the Q will give the Neferi a double kill.
There we go. That's going to be 2 quick kills right here for Jun. And the gold beginning to sit onto a couple of very interesting champions right here. The Neferi getting off to a great start so far. And ThunderTalk, as much as they're trying to be proactive about this, really not recognizing how much threat this early Camille support can really do.
Speaking of, right back to the mid lane as Knight has a Spirit Rush as well. Looking for Heru. Feather flashes in front of him to try to get away from the hook shot, but he's still going to go down. Shun gets kill number 3. Feather has half of his HP still left, and Junhao looking to try to re-engage as well. It won't result in anything going down just yet, other than that 1 kill for BLG.
BLG going to be happy enough with picking up that 1 kill. It's a 3rd into the back pocket of Jun. He's now got a decent little shutdown set on top of him. He's just in a good spot early on, and exactly what you want to see. The Neferi, one of those champions with the scaling where if you're ahead, it's just impossible to kill this champion. Always able to just jump away. Now the Eviscerate available and everything, and just such a frustrating champion to try to deal with from a deficit.
3-0-0 for Shun on the Neferi, on a part of every single kill on the map so far in this game. I mean, at this point, Carry and Delight obviously have played it as well. This is a signature pick for On in the support position now.
Absolutely. It's been really impressive to watch what he's been able to get up to so far with this pickup. Now looking to go top lane is Keshi. Decent chunk of HP missing, but Feather is there covering off for any potential plays. We've got a Drake available down on the bottom side of the map, and with all of this early pressure that BLG have been able to get for themselves, or the early roaming coming through from On as well, you have to imagine they want to move towards this Drake sometime soon.
He's on the picture about a minute ago. Wenbo actually burns Keshi's flash by popping the all out, so not necessarily ahead in CS, but still able to pressure this Twisted Fate. Going to be a small victory for the rookie in his first career series in the LPL. Right of the Arcane getting issued On, dodging away from 3 of the 4 shots and keeping himself rather healthy. Who might not be healthy now is Heru, who is once again focused down by On. Knight flashes forward, lands the charm, and will be able to finish off the kill. Keshi, though, teleporting down with a Destiny. Going to have a lot of damage back down on to Knight, who doesn't have any way to defend himself, and a Twisted Fate gets on the board for TT. 1-for-1 overall.
Still, Keshi is just going to abandon this top lane, so you are going to get a good bit of push off from Wenbo. Junhao might have to go undercover onto that lane. I love the proactivity from On. Again, involved in every single one of his team's kills so far. Now with the grubs up and available, he's going to be trying to help out his team for those as well.
Yeah, already Junhao starting this one up, but Wenbo forcing his way back down. Already 1 grub secured for TT, but BLG can make sure that they at least get the advantage in the grub field. Shun sensing that it should be just a free take. 2-1 for BLG at the grubs.
Indeed it is, and the Drake still remains. Bot laners be duking out by themselves for a while, as both of their supports have been roaming around, getting involved elsewhere on the map. Heru, I don't want to be stepping up right now. And you could see a lot of these laners are playing with just that extra level of fear. Whenever they don't see on their screens, whenever he's lurking away on the sides. One of the joys of this champion as a roaming support is you can make ganks happen from such weird angles that people are not trained to expect.
What will this end up looking like? I mean, we've already seen some really creative pathings that On has gone for, alongside Shun, who also has very long-range engage ability of his own in the ultimate. On throws at the Chain of Corruption, forces Viper to flash away. First Dragon still not taken by either team.
Everybody happy to just keep looking for these potential kills right here. Pretty big to get the flash out of Viper. Obviously, pretty squishy and immobile if you can close that distance. And you do have some decent closing the distance champions on ThunderTalk. Not to mention the Destiny just helps get you close whatever the actual setup for the fight is. Bot side of the map right now for Jun. Right, the Arcane. Oh.
Almost. Now Knight's actually looking. He pops the ulti. He's going. Spotted out by Feather, and so will mean that On likely is able to generate enough distance, but now Knight can make his target the Leona instead. Lands the charm, but doesn't have a lot after that. And so will just be an opportunity for Viper to take a reset.
Yeah, but they're able to push this bot side of the map away. That's going to be some turret plating going over into Knight's back pocket as well. And you're able to, as Viper, quickly teleport back into the mid lane and catch this minion wave. Now, potential dive happening in the top lane. Wenbo, obviously, still pretty tanky with this Cassante.
As his flash and his ultimate, Supreme Display of Talent already hits, and the rest of the squad has arrived. Shun and On to the rescue at the perfect moment. 2 procs of the ulti result in 2 kills for the dog.
Nice quick kills, and this is a monster game right here from Jun. 5-0-0 at this point, just an absolute beast with the Cyclo Sword. And this is the problem with ThunderTalk's composition. As much as they are looking for potential plays, they needed to do that a heck of a lot faster before the collapse can come back on through.
Wenbo playing perfect bait once again, as Shun unstoppable so far in this third and final game. Then if Fury needs to snowball, that's what we said in the start of this game here, Bloxer, and that has absolutely happened. Looking for that second completed item. It should come sooner rather than later, which is ridiculous at the 11-minute mark of this game.
Yeah, the fact that you can very, very soon have 2 items down should end up being the axiom, and at that point you're just going to be in such a strong position to keep the pressure up on the opponents. ThunderTalk looks like they're going to lose out onto this Drake right now. You've got a couple of ThunderTalk members in the area, but going over the wall in this pit surely just spells your demise.
They threw a lot of spells over, and Shun barely able to secure it with the smite. I think it was sub 100 HP. Yep. My calculations were correct. Still secured by Bilibili. They get the first dragon of the game.
They do it. They do it. It was a little bit closer than it necessarily needed to be, but that's kind of been the name of the game so far, the name of the series from BLG. Moments where you're like, wow, that definitely could have been cleaner done, but they are able to come out on top in this game. 5-0-0 for Jun. Just going to keep tracking where he's at with his builds and how far ahead he's able to keep going. As Knight now also getting himself into a good spot. Still working on grabbing that first item for himself. Once that comes through, Jun and Knight together is going to be a nightmare combo.
Especially, yeah, once Knight continues to get further and further ahead. A bit of a difference in that playstyle, playing more around other areas of the map for Knight. He's spent time bot lane, for instance, looking to try to feed Viper. And so has Shun, looking for another play onto Heru, dashing forward again. Goes invulnerable right under the turret and will be able to pick up yet another kill. Now in the mid lane, it's Knight with the help of On. So 2 for 1s in 2 different locations result in 2 more kills for Bilibili Gaming.
And this is too early to say, Grapes. We've still got plenty more of this game left to play. But if the game ended right now, would you be voting for On or for Shun? Hang on, let's see.
Well, it might depend how this fight plays out. Looks like On. Not a team player. Playing for the KDA a little bit there, letting Knight die. Or, you know, maybe just a smarter thing, all things considered. Speaking of not smart, that's what Viper is feeling right now as he is getting collapsed upon after trying to take that final shot of the turret. Heru gets on the board. It's 2 more kills into the hands of ThunderTalk as they try to stabilize things.
Hey, I knew I was going to commit a caster curse by asking about which of those two you preferred, but I didn't expect it to happen as I was saying the words. BLG just playing overly aggressive there, stepping up, but Keshi now having to flash away, and he will be able to get out of that one. The threat between Jun and On together is massive. I've been talking about Knight as well, now has himself that Malignance completed, so he's ready to go play ball as well. And as much as that was a good couple kills back for ThunderTalk, BLG still in firm control of this one.
Gold lead just about 2,000 at this point. Shun 5-0-1. Looking for a play onto Feather. Ends up getting hit up by the Scatter of the Week, but doesn't really care at this point. He's still able to pick up the entirety of the Krug camp, jump right back out, and keep BLG in a good place. Shun has been a big driver for Bilibili here in this game. Has been throughout a lot of this season. He's really been a valuable addition back to this roster since returning from JDG.
Indeed, things have been getting a lot better for them. Things have been working out. But still, I mean, in this game, as much as BLG have the lead, they've been making a few odd decisions. Viper specifically is pushing way too far forwards in that bottom lane, then getting himself caught out. They need to avoid mistakes like this if they are going to get punished by teams like ThunderTalk. I mean, when they're playing some of the other top teams in the league, that could put them in really bad spots.
TT looking to try to find an angle back into this one. Will it be Junhao? Probably Keshi again. I mean, he's on the Twisted Fate, which is not necessarily a hard carry champion, but with this AD build, could potentially pump out a little bit more deeps. Has the gold advantage over Wenbo at this point. And maybe have a bit more impact.
Yeah, the only person right now on ThunderTalk that has a gold advantage for them, and it is not an insignificant one. It's the only thing kind of keeping the gold gap between the two teams overall even and in check, as we have the Rift Herald spawn and On just going to get jumped right here.
Yeah. He's getting focused down. That is a bad death if he ends up going down, but maybe not with the help of the rest of his team. On is still alive. Solar Flare finally going to take him down as a shutdown goes Feather's way, but BLG collapsed beautifully upon the rest of ThunderTalk. On looked like he was out of position, but ends up baiting TT into 2 more deaths.
And that's just well played right there. I mean, the amount of extra shielding you're able to get as well through the sweep, just really helping him out to be able to survive in that situation, and that should result in both the Rift Herald and this top lane tier 1 tower going down. BLG will crack this gold lead wide open off the back of this one.
Just some magic coming out of On. Just got aura, man. I don't know. He can walk wherever he wants. He can win any fight that he wants, seemingly, when he's on this Camille champion, on these picks that can roam around the map, have high impact. Hard to believe this guy was playing Enchanters the first half of the year.
I know, and he was playing them well, too. This wasn't even necessarily the big problem that we ended up seeing. Yeah, I mean, that shield is going to be massive right here. Also, really good use of the Hectech Ultimatum and the invulnerability that comes with it for a second to dodge away from a bit of extra damage that Junhao was looking to pump in. He's unfortunately still caught by Feather, but the fact that Feather dies for it too makes that a well and truly worthwhile trade. Let's see where the Rift Herald ends up going. Jun does have it, and the mid lane tower is only on 2 plates remaining, so it'd be great to just crack this one open and fully set themselves up for this upcoming Drake.
Got 1,000 gold leads in mid, bot lane, and now support, as On has a Sunder Sky and a Blood Song. That's the core build for this Camille support pick. You're going to do a lot of damage, as well as just being a massive nuisance, all things considered. The second dragon has now spawned. Mid lane control still belonging to BLG for now, but On's trying to change that with a couple of piercing arrows. BLG regaining control of the pit. Nobody fully starting this Drake up just yet.
They are going to pull it out now, our BLG, and do ThunderTalk even feel confident enough to step up into this one? They've got no vision. It's just darkness ahead of them right now. They are going to try go in.
Zenith Blade lands onto On, who immediately pops the ultimatum. In response, Knight forces a flash out of Heru with the charm, and it's already the first kill going on to On. Wenbo with the all-out onto Junhao. In goes Shun onto Heru as well. Both carries out of the picture for ThunderTalk, as it's a double kill once again for the Nefiri. Keshi chasing down On, should be able to finish off at least 1 kill onto the BLG support. But BLG still feeling very comfortable with how that fight worked out. Junhao still on the wrong side of the rift, as Knight will try to hunt him down for at the very least an execute.
See if he can at least force him back. I think in the end it is just going to be him surviving, able to get back away. The Drake, more importantly than anything else, goes on over. And Keshi, does he get stunned up?
Gets
Yes,
his TP
he does.
cancelled. Unlucky. Thought he could get away with the TP. Instead, gonna get fed to the Wolves once again. Feather might be out of position as well now as he tried to save his top laner. Might end up being a bit of an over-aggressive play. Thought he might have had the defensive capabilities. Instead, it's Shun getting yet another kill.
ThunderTalk in the previous game show us that they can play. And ThunderTalk in this game show us that they are still well and truly ThunderTalk Gaming. I mean, that was just an egregious couple of plays from them. No reason to be giving so many extra kills over on the back end of that fight. And when we resurface off of all of this fighting, 5,000 gold now going to be the disadvantage ThunderTalk find themselves in. Teleporting in to potentially try collapse right now onto Wenbo. But, I mean, you're out of mana, yes, but you are a Cassante.
He is very tanky. Might be a while until he goes down. It could result in maybe BLG making a play on the top side of the map. What exactly that'll look like, we'll have to wait and see. Teleport certainly not an option with all the crowd control available on TT's side. It's 4 members to eventually take the Cassante down for the first time this game, as you already see moves towards the top side for BLG.
Indeed, they've been able to establish themselves into that top quadrant, but it's pre-20 minutes. We've still got 30 seconds or so until the Baron will join us on the Rift, so well-timed play right there from ThunderTalk to at least get something for themselves back. As this is what I was talking about, we're just infuriating champions to be trying to play against. Hang on, picture.
On, getting taken down, will be Junhao securing the solo kill, as the teleport comes in from On as well to make it a 3-man squad on the bottom side. They'll be able to pick up an objective bounty after catching out the Camille. Nicely done by ThunderTalk, and they could be looking for more. Viper forced to flash underneath his tower as Keshi is starting to ramp up. He flashes forward with a gold card to make it another kill going towards the TF.
And that's just more and more kills that ThunderTalk are picking up, but they're still not coming out on top in any of these fights. BLG continue to find ways to grab something back in every single situation. Still though, the gold was 5,000, now it's only 3,000, so ThunderTalk, they are closing the gap.
There's a big problem though for TT, and his name is Shun. We'll get to that in a second and take a look at this replay.
It's BLG just thinking they've got a little bit more power than they do, and On, if he doesn't get caught by that Supreme Display Talent, he might be okay in that situation, but he just does get fully caught into the wall right there, taken out, and this, as you had been talking about, right, Keshi, he's had a really good game series for himself overall, and at this point with the ADTF, he is pumping the damage.
Was it worth it? I don't know. Was it cool? Definitely. Keshi's had
yeah.
a couple of highlight moments here in this series against BLG. Once again, his old team, him and Heru, coming from the junior squad just a year ago. Junhao a year before that. Now they're trying to take down their former parent organization. It's not going to be so easy as BLG still up 3,500 gold. They're going to try to snowball that lead forward by taking down this tier 2 turret in the mid lane. Still have that Baron up now. Dragon in a minute 30. Would be sole point for BLG if they pick it up.
Indeed, and sole point would be really nice for BLG, giving them a lot of control over the pace of this game. Baron obviously also going to be the next big target, big focus for both of these squads. Neither has the fastest, just quick steal this one away ability, although ThunderTalk, if they catch BLG napping, could potentially try to take this one out. Right now though, they're having a real trouble with being able to step up far enough forwards to get some vision down. Knight hunting in a bush right now, waiting to see if somebody squishy's going to walk to him.
Oh, not someone squishy, but somebody. It is Feather. And so taking about 20% of his health.
It's Chunk. It's something. It does mean ThunderTalk also stepping up, grabbing themselves just a little bit more vision. They're currently in complete control of the vision over this Baron pit, whereas BLG hunting on the other side of the map.
This guy's a little more squishy though. Keshi gets 100 to 0'd with the help of Knight's Charm. On ends up finishing the deal, and now BLG have that numbers advantage on the bot side.
Indeed they do. 30 seconds until the next Drake will spawn. Not really anything else to get off the back of this play though. Can't turn that one around into a Baron. Instead, some quick resets coming on through, and with these Hextech portals, they'll be able to rejoin the rest of the squad for the upcoming team fight. for ThunderTalk, yes, you're going to have Keshi available to join you with the ulti soon enough after this Drake spawns, but I think they're just going to lose out onto this one. Instead, could potentially try to play around the top side of the map. As we said, can try steal this one away.
Doesn't look like that's happening. Instead, Junhao is on a mission into the enemy jungle to try to steal away a red buff that On is going to sniff out rather easily. At least I think he is. Taking a control ward instead, actually. Not going to go in. So it is a small victory here for Junhao, who's now spotted out On. Chain of Corruption goes wide. Nice hook shot here for the Camille. Make sure that he is all out nice and safely.
It's a pretty big cooldown as well, as long as we don't get a big fight in the next couple of minutes. Shouldn't cost ThunderTalk too dearly. As BLG resets coming on through, as we said, soul point collected for them, slowly but surely pulling this gold gap back out once again. And you can see so much of it still sat on the heads of Jun and Viper, really reflecting in the items. 3 items now completed for Viper. He hurts so bad. If you get caught in that right of the arcane, there's nothing that you can do.
Especially if your name is not Feather, right? Remember, we talked about at draft. TT's composition, apart from the Leona, incredibly squishy. Will get 100 to 0. That's why you see some itemization choices like the Shadow Flame for Viper, the Lichbane for Knight to just add a little bit of extra burst, specifically to some players that, you know, don't necessarily stack a lot of resistances. And that's going to be a big benefit for BLG as we try to continue to see them dive onto the back line like we might see here. But who's getting dove by who? It's Junhao assassinating on the Kiana and making it a big fight here for TT that can potentially be turned into more. Wenbo teleports forward, but he eats a lot of damage with his shield charm. Lands onto Heru, and Shun looking to maybe close the gap. Right of the arcane, not going to be dodged away from that final shot as Viper gets back on the board. Diving onto On is the Nefiri. She's able to jump back up and keep herself alive. Feather with the last tick of the Comet will burn down as a double kill goes Viper's way. 3 kills in favor of BLG as they'll make their way towards the Baron pit.
On with a real somebody call an ambulance, but not for me moment. Gets caught out in that situation, but it baits the members of ThunderTalk in way too far. That's going to be the Baron picked up right here for BLG. And it's been back and forth. It's been risky so far in this game, but it looks like BLG finally beginning to get themselves some firm control over this one.
We've had to ask a lot of questions if this series was not a win for them. But BLG still feeling comfortable, proving that that game 2 is a bit of a fluke. On, you know, has a bit of an oopsie, but it allows, again, as you said, the rest of the team, Bloxer, to follow up.
Indeed, and Wenbo teleporting in really deep, super tanky right now on the Skasante, and the charm just about tagging Heru is what sets all of this fight up. The right of the arcane, he doesn't even hit that many of them, but still, plenty of damage.
Shun dancing around all of ThunderTalk, finally eats a full solar flare, and the 11-0 Nefiri is no longer. Viper gets a trade back onto Feather, though, and Wenbo has dove onto the backline. On is down. Knight looking for more. Charm not connecting, but Keshi down to 500 HP. Heru on the run as well, as BLG still have the numbers advantage.
They do. The test going to have to keep pushing right here. And with the Baron buff available, and now 2 members dead for ThunderTalk, these inhibitor towers are under massive threat. They only have a wave in the mid lane right now, so they're only going to be able to grab this one. And we'll see if they stick around for the inhibitor 2. Looks like they will.
Options running out here for ThunderTalk. They have the ability to one-shot some players, but it comes at the cost of more members, more than likely, dying on their side of things. Baron buff still available for another minute and 30 seconds. That lines up right when this dragon will spawn. It will be the Hextech Soul for BLG if they pick it up.
And if they're able to do that, that extra level of damage that comes through from a Hextech Soul will be massive in this situation. You get tagged by one of those ultis off of the Xerath, you get hit by a charm, and there is just no way that you're going to be able to survive this one. Yes, they're able to grab 1 kill onto Jun. He's not going to have a deathless game here in this one, but still, it has been an incredibly impressive performance right here from the BLG jungler. And where can they find that final angle? One more team fight should do it here for BLG.
Yeah, 4 items for Shun. I'm sure he's not taking that death too seriously. He's got still a lot left to play with as they take down the tier 2 turret up in the top lane. On the other side for TT are some big item spikes coming through. It's a 3rd item for Heru, 3rd item for Keshi, 3rd item for On and Jun. So everybody on TT has a 3-item spike. Problem is Shun has 4, and that might be a bit of a problem. Yep. So does Knight with that 12-stack Medjais. well, there's no other opportunity here for ThunderTalk. You're going to have to fight this soul one way or the other.
Absolutely, you are. 20 seconds now until this one will spawn. Wenbo looking for a little bit of a flank right now, will be spotted out. Still, that's going to make the ThunderTalk members turn tail and run. And they are just so zoned away from this pit at this point. Stepping into the objective, going to be incredibly difficult.
Who wants to make the first move? It looks like Knight might end up getting focused down. Oh, he dashes away from the Chain of Corruption with his Spirit Rush. Really good reaction time from Knight, who still has 2 more procs to the ulti to look to make a play. Misses the charm, but the right of the arcane really forcing Heru down, forces to pop the heal just to keep the Syndra alive at this point. Teleport comes in from Keshi, in goes Junhao, lands a big supreme display of talent, but it is Hextech Soul, secured by Bilibili, and Shun's diving onto Junhao as well. Wenbo soaking up a lot of damage, but eventually will drop as Knight makes it a 2-for-1, looking to try to finish off some more. Call the pack forward from Shun, and On will look to finish the deal as well. The Nefiri pops off. It's a triple kill for Knight, and sooner rather than later, BLG are going to wrap up this series.
They've got the super minions in the base right here. They've got a clean ace to play around as well, and they're going to walk this one down. It takes 3 games. ThunderTalk do pick themselves up 1 in this series, but BLG 2-1 over ThunderTalk.
It wasn't the cleanest, but the defending champions are going to survive. New top laner Wenbo comes in, win comes in all the same. BLG complete the 2-1, and they go up to 1-0 in the LPL standings.
It's not the cleanest series. I think we can still give a lot of praise over to ThunderTalk and still have some pretty big questions about BLG and what it is that they are going to be able to do this split, especially with a potential rotating door of top laners. For right now, to get this win, they've got to be very happy about that one, but not the cleanest, not the 2-0 of domination that you would have really expected from the defending LPL champions.
I think a lot of people would have come in here, say TT, going to lose 2-0 unfortunately in their debut, but you got to be really excited about what they can now look like, Bloxer, for the remainder of this split. They're in Group Ascend, they're going to be playing up against a lot of these top teams, and for rookies like Keshi, like Heru, like even Junhao and Feather in their second years, opportunities for them to really grow as players. We saw it with a team like WE last year. Getting a lot of reps ended up helping them out, and maybe one of these teams towards the bottom could go on a big run.
Indeed, right? It's really interesting to see which of these teams that we're getting promoted from Group Nirvana are going to be able to do something. Because in the previous splits, Group Nirvana, in that playoffs matchup that they had versus the top teams, they really didn't do anything. It wasn't very much about them getting anywhere. It was sort of, hey, you got that, you've not been eliminated from split number 3, but beyond that, not the case right now. We really do feel like you've got a chance, and it's going to be really interesting to see as well. BLG, their next game is versus EDG. If they struggle with EDG as well, maybe these Group Nirvana teams are just better than we expected. Maybe the gap is closing.
Felt like that in certain aspects during the Knights Rivals tournament, but of course it was not the same opponents that they're playing up against. But you know, you think about IG, Weibo, NIP even. NIP took a series against BLG last year. Yeah. They ended up losing in a 5-game series to EDG. So that could be like the kind of litmus test here for some of these formerly Nirvana teams that have made their way up into Group Ascend to really see where the level of play is at. Because in the playoff bracket, it's one thing, right? BLG ended up kind of running the table down there. TS kind of cleaned up down there in the lower bracket. But potentially, opportunities now for ThunderTalk, for LGD, for EDG to really grow from this experience and to try to turn this opportunity into something that really can take them into the next level, not only as a full team as 5, but even for the individual players.
Absolutely. As ThunderTalk, I'm taking heart from this one, and they've got themselves a tough next matchup as well. They will be playing against TES in their next game, so, you know, if they're able to take another just single win off of them, I think that would overall make a lot of sense. And as we mentioned earlier, things are getting intense here. We've had 2-game sets for the first couple of days, but we're on to 3-game sets for the next few, so tons more action here on the LPL English.
Gonna look at a lot of these teams returning to the LPL stage for their second matchups. AL, LGD first up. Then we get WE up against JD Gaming. Not a matchup that we saw in the playoff bracket. And then EDG versus BLG, which was a matchup that we saw in playoffs down the line, the weekend's going to be fun as well. Reminder, 2 hours earlier than usual. That is 12 a.m. midnight Pacific time here in the United States. Over in Europe, I think it's, what is it, 9 p.m., 9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay.
For the first one.
I'm learning the conversions. 9 a.m. GMT over there in the UK. So going to be a fun sequence of events here over this last couple of days here in the LPL.
Wait, I'm trolling you right now. I don't know my own conversions.
Is it 8 a.m.?
7 a.m.
Wow.
Minus, yeah, it's 7 a.m. I'm straight trolling you right now.
I thought I could trust you, Bloxer. I thought I could trust you.
I don't know what planet I'm on, let alone what time zone. Jeez.
Oh man.
Okay.
You know what?
It's
been a long
7
day.
a.m. British time. 8 a.m. European time. There we go.
You know what they say? Never do math on air.
Yeah,
that is what I failed to do.
Don't do time
I
zone
learned from my
conversions.
mistakes. I will be better in the future. Anyway, wake up early regardless. Maybe stay up late if you're over here on the west coast of the United States to watch some of these amazing games in the LPL. It is kind of crazy. We're going to get, like, by the end of this week, 3 full games, out of 3 full series out of a lot of our teams. ThunderTalk, LGD, BLG, all going to play 3 full series very quickly.
Really, really intense. And really intense for the teams that we've had promoted from Group Nirvana, because Group Nirvana doesn't get a lot of games. They really play a lot less. I mean, if you're an IG who's gone from playing through the gauntlet you had in the previous split to all of a sudden you get to play, what is it? Maybe
a game a week if you're lucky.
It's just nothing for them anymore. Whereas for these teams promoted, tons more series, and I love how intense it is. It feels like we are just getting straight back into it.
Taking a look at some of our post game here of Game 3 between BLG and ThunderTalk.
Viper. Whew. Yep, that's Xerath.
He did his job. It's kind of the Ezreal syndrome, right? Where you get a lot of poke damage down, not necessarily the kills. Shun came to play as well. You got to shout out Junhao, who I think had a really good series overall. Keshi as well, with some shining moments. And then, of course, on the Camille. You're going to have the silly deaths. That just comes with the territory of being a psychopath, which is what On is when he's playing some of these champs.
Absolutely. And now that we're not in the middle of the game, we can do this question again. Jun or On for your MVP of this game? I know who the LPL voters are going to want. This is too big of a KDA gap.
I know.
They're definitely going to go towards Jun in this one.
Okay, you know what? I'll do Shun player of the game, On player of the series. I think is what we're gonna have to go with here.
I like this. I like
Surely
this in
that's
this
fair.
situation. I think that's very fair, right? Because that is 2 brilliant games right here out of On. He played incredibly well in the first game. Was able to just set his team up for so much success. And the same thing again in this 3rd game right here. When he's given a playmaker, when he's given a champion that can roam around the map, get involved everywhere, he is so good for the team.
He's definitely able to show off a little bit of that MSI flair. Again, put the LPL on the map with those styles of champions just a couple of weeks ago over in Daejeon. Now here in Shenzhen, able to do just about the same thing here with BLG. Still some questions about what this roster is going to end up looking like. You thought that they were just going to be so solid as a team of 5 sweeping through the LPL. A little bit of a wrinkle thrown in with Wenbo thrown into the fire. But he's able to at least get this first win, and we'll see what the rest of the season ends up looking like here for BLG.
He's got himself a pretty easy enough way into the split, as we said, right? Just playing up against Keshi, who actually kind of gave him a run for his money. Then he's got ZDZ to play up against versus EDG in their next matchup, and I think that's a nice enough way to ease yourself into the split. If you're not getting destroyed by these players, you're going to be okay. The thing is, things are going to get real tough real soon for them, and soon you're going to be playing against some of the top laners that we've been super excited for recently. The Flanders, or Breathe, not sure which one.
Yeah, I don't know about Flandre anymore.
Yeah,
it's been
Breathe,
a weird day for top laners today.
Yeah, it has. More importantly, though, I think the Zion matchup's going to be really interesting between these two. If anybody's just going to sort of take him by the lapels and say, hey, welcome to the LPL, buddy, I think that might be the matchup.
Yeah, very volatile top laners. that are both very early into their careers. Could be a fun one to watch as we take a look at the final highlights here. Imagine, again, we'll go down to Shun and On. I think my vote would be for Shun on this game. I think I don't remember even the exact number of kills he finished off with here on the Nefiri, but it was a very high number and a very low number of deaths.
Yeah, it was a really impressive look overall, and for BLG, the expectations are so high. That's why we're always so disappointed when there's team drama going on for them, because they've got the makings, they've got the bones of this incredible team. If they were able to just keep things even-keeled for a while, imagine just how good they could be.
I mean, we've seen how good they could be. They could be international champions good. They could be LPL 3-time champions in a row good. When you have players like Knight, Shun, On, and Viper, we'll see what the rest of the season does look like, as it is Shun 12-1-9, winning that player of the game. I'd imagine On getting player of the match. If I had to vote, that'd be my vote.
Yeah, I mean, I really want On to get it. I mean, yeah, in game number 2 it was pretty bad look from him overall, but it was just a not particularly good overall set of games for the lot of them, and he still was able to find some moments on the Alistair, just he was put behind early on and it was tricky, and it's hard to really shine as a support in a game that your team is losing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the nature of how On ends up playing a lot of the time. As another 2 votes for Wenbo. You know, shout out to you guys. Trying to give the rookies some love over there. So yeah, congratulations to BLG. Not the way they probably were expecting it or wanted it, but it is still a win for them all the same to go up early in the standings with a win over ThunderTalk. Again, they're going to be playing tomorrow against EDG. You can catch us here just a little bit earlier than previously on LPL as we enter our triple header, triple day weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all going to be 3 series days here on the LPL as we wrap up our first week of competition. Player of the series also going to Shun. You know what? He played all right too. I
disagree, but yeah, I think this is fair enough, right? As much as I do disagree, I think that it was an overall better look from On throughout this entire game, or throughout this entire series. This was still a really good performance. The Jarvan performance was beautiful, the Nefiri was also great, and he tried his best on the Vi. There just kind of was nothing happening for the squad in that game.
Good start for Shun, good start for BLG, and good start for us here on the LPL. Bloxer, pleasure. Once again, big shout out to Kai, who is working our production, as well as all of the mod team and socials team that has been working behind the scenes for us here as well on LPL English. Before we go, we want to give a big thank you to our elite coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mung, Gelati, and Andrea Duran. Their pledged financial contributions help level up the broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every day. That man on your screen in Wenbo ends up getting his first series win in his LPL career. Final score, BLG 2 over this one. ThunderTalk, just 1 game in our second series of the day. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been